Next up, look at that face. That's a face only a mother could love. I joke, man. It's Moxley. He's awesome. This is his first match back since losing the AEW World Championship. And we got Jon Moxley versus someone I've never seen before, Nick Comoroto. Now, I believe he's had a few matches on Dark, and this is the first time he's been on Dynamite. My goodness, this guy looks awesome. He is huge. He is probably bigger than Moxley. I believe he's a student from the QT school. Now, I say that. They actually did say it on air that he's QT and Dustin are his trainers. This guy looks perfectly built for wrestling. It's just more. Get him on TV ASAP. He kind of reminds me of Barbarian, you know? It's like a cross between Barbarian and, what's he called? Oh, the mean guy that was in Japan, the American guy. We'll get back to that. He just looks perfect for wrestling, you know, really cool. So Mox starts the match by headbutting Comoroto, which I loved. As you can see there, it was a brilliant way. No lock up, no punches, no pacing about. Take that. It's like, yes, that's what I am all about. More headbutts, please, just safe ones. So yeah, he headbutts Comoroto, then he starts hitting him with chops and clotheslines. But Comoroto, I'm going to say Comoroto, that's just the way I'm going to say the name. He used his strength, and instead of cutting Moxley off to get some heat on him with like a elbow or a punch or a clothesline, he used his strength to cut Moxley off with a British Bulldog like power slam, which I thought was great. It's rarely you see fiery faces or like a shine. Like the start of a wrestling match is normally what you've called like a shine, you know what I mean? Your good guys trying to look good by running about, hitting loads of flashy moves, looking cool. And then you've got the cut-off that takes you into the heat where the meanie will sit and beat the good guy up. Normally your cut-off is something sharp, like a big back elbow out of nowhere, or they'll cheat or something, or they'll throw them out of the ring, or something to give a clear separation between, look at the good guy being flashy, and hey, here we go, here's the guy away to get methodical and rough. So yeah, it was good to see him using a power slam to cut Moxley off and lead into the heat. Comoroto got quite a lot of heat on Moxley, which again, Moxley could have easily just said, I am only wrestling for 2 minutes, we're going in, I'm going to beat this guy up, I'm going to give him a finish and I'm getting the fuck out of there. But no, he gave him a lot, and to be honest, it's believable with a guy like Comoroto. It's totally believable that he would go toe-to-toe with Moxley and survive 10 minutes. Now, I have seen people being taken to WWE that are this sort of size and just being jobbed out. No story time, no nothing. And that blows my mind. So, I really like what Impact are doing. I really like what AEW are doing here with Comoroto. And I like that Moxley gave him so much as well. And I mean, it's quite funny that we're saying this. I mean, it's juxtaposed to the match we just talked about, where we had someone who has been on the bottom of the pecking order for a year, and it's like not that believable. I mean, you could say if Avalon was a foot higher and weighed another 50 pounds, it would be totally believable. It would be absolutely believable. But Avalon, bless his cotton socks, he's quite short and he's quite small. Bless him. And I think this is what makes the difference between Cody versus Peter Avalon and Moxley versus Comoroto. So I mean, he got loads of sweet heat on Moxley. He used his strength to throw him about a bit, makes himself just look like an all-round brute. What is there not to like about this? He hit this awesome, really cool neck breaker onto the knee move on Moxley. It looked brutal. No slip-ups, nothing to criticise here. Nothing but upside is what I wrote. So in the end, Mox managed to fight back. He raked at Comoroto's eyes. Good old Moxley's like Hulk Hogan. He's a good guy that does bad guy moves. If you don't believe me, go watch a Hulk Hogan match. Good guy, bad guy moves. It works sometimes. And it works for Moxley. Yeah, he raked at Comoroto's eyes. And then he showed some of that glorious, what I would call Moxley fighting spirit. You know, he's just like, yeah. I think Moxley is great. He's definitely one of my favourites. Since leaving WWE, I mean, he was really good in WWE. I was actually a fan of Moxley before WWE. I used to watch him like a lot in CZW. On the computer, I've got one of the famous. I've got the it's a death match that he did. He's quite famous for doing. It was in CZW. It's a guy about a guy called Brain Damage who sadly passed away since then. But in the match, he uses one of those like automatic turkey cutter things. So it's like an automatic knife. So it's like a thing you hold in your hand. It's got two knives. And he gets it on his head, and it just the way they set it all up. The thing didn't cut Moxley's head. It's wrestling. It's gimmicked. But he was so covered in blood already and sweat that as soon as the thing touched his head, it just goes flying everywhere. And it looks savage. It looks so brutal. But it's such a good spot. And like, I digress because I'm getting carried away in my fanboyish love of Moxley. I've just been a fan of him so long. I think WWE, he still managed to be good in it, but it was just not Moxley that people knew and loved. But he's back now, and this is what I mean by he shows that Moxley fighting spirit. I think that he's taken bits from the Japanese style and how he works in Japan, and he's smashed it up with this style that he's got now. It is bloody brilliant. So Mox started trying to take Comoroto down back into the match with some big lariats and stuff, big moves. But Comoroto just no-sold it. So instead, Mox used his jiu-jitsu. Another thing I love, he's not a one-dimensional character. He jumped round behind Comoroto, jumped on his back, put him in a rear naked, choked him out for the win. It was a perfect win. No one looked weak. Comoroto looked brilliant in this match. I mean, he got choked out by Moxley, but he got choked out by Jon fucking Moxley. Everyone should be getting choked out by Moxley. He's one of the best in the world. Great. For a first match on national TV, like on Dynamite for Comoroto, you couldn't do any better here. He looked great, both in style and in substance. I hope we see more of him. Just that he starts moving to the winning side on AEW, which is something they're actually good at doing. They will take someone in, they'll lose for the first couple of matches, but they will then start winning. Moxley is amazing. After the match, he cut a promo. He basically challenged everyone, any company, any person. All they have to do is ask, just come and fight him. Who's going to challenge Moxley next? I am interested to see. I mean, there's still a rematch between him and Kenny going to happen at some point, so there's a lot being set up here. A lot to talk about. Moxley is bloody amazing. He's a gift to wrestling that keeps on giving and giving and giving. I just wanted to say that.